In 2025, over 3,200 millionaires are expected to leave the UK, more than from any other country in the world. That's not a prediction, it's a verified statistic. Think about that for a second. What's happening inside Britain that's pushing its wealthiest citizens to pack up and disappear?
Record numbers of Africans, especially Nigerians, are moving out of the UK at alarming rate. What is going on? Why is it that the UK, which was once one of the most attractive places for immigrants to move to, why is it that immigrants are now saying we've had enough of the UK? Let's look at what is driving this trend. You will be shocked when you find out our findings. Number one reason is the cost of living. The cost of everyday essentials, food, energy, goods and services has risen and outpaced wages in the UK to the point where a lot of migrants who are often on minimum wage, they are struggling to make ends meet. Additionally, the United Kingdom has one of the most expensive energy price in the world. Also, the UK, the value of the pound has depreciated by almost 30% since Brexit, to the point where a lot of migrants, when you send the money home, the value of what you get is not the same as what you get before. Remember, a lot of migrants, they are not entitled to receive inward benefit. So that is another reason why a lot of migrants, they are feeling the heat when it comes to the cost of living. The second reason is taxation. It is well known that the current tax in the UK is record high, the highest since 1945. You pay council tax, you pay VAT, you pay basic income and national insurance, you pay road tax, you pay insurance. The only thing that they don't tax you for in the UK is the air that you breathe. The way things are going now, don't be surprised if next year the Chancellor say air tax, that they're going to start charging you 5 pence for every air that you breathe. That is how bad taxation has become in the UK. We also know that the wage for a lot of migrants who are often on minimum wage job is stagnant. On top of that, when you then look at other factors in the UK, such as housing, we know that in places like Liverpool, Manchester, and other northern cities, the house price has risen so bad that a lot of migrants, they are struggling to live, despite the fact that taxes is at record high. According to the independent newspaper published a few days ago, prepare for more taxes in 2026 because Rachel Reeves is coming for more taxes. We are already saying that we have record taxes in the UK. The Chancellor is saying, you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm coming with more taxes, baby. Prepare. So that is what we are expecting. We also know that political attitude has changed. It's changed so bad that a lot of politicians, mainstream politicians, now sit as a winning strategist, whipping up sentiment, stigmatizing migrants, blaming them, scapegoating them, blaming them for everything that is wrong in the UK, including the weather. Migrants are the ones that are doing it. Things are so bad that when you had the riot last year, a lot of employers advised their workers from migrant backgrounds, say, hey, Johnny, hey, Mo, hey, Abdul, don't come to work next week. Next week, I'll give you time off. Why? Don't come to work. Because they were fearful of their safety. That's how bad things were. It's on record. A lot of migrant properties were burnt. A lot of their belongings were attacked. A lot of migrants were fearful in the United Kingdom, of all places. A place that is supposed to be a multiracial, tolerant society. No, right now, some politicians are inflaming. Not only politicians and their allies in the media, they are inflaming the flame of division, hate, because some politicians, as they see it, as a winning strategy. When they look across what happened across the other side, you know what I'm talking about? They see it as a winning strategy. That is why a lot of migrants, they are now living in fear due to the hostile environment in the United Kingdom. Because of that, racism is no longer something that people are hiding. It's now something that people are displaying open. We know that factors like that would affect migrant mental health and well-being. We know a lot of migrants, they are suffering poor mental health. These are vulnerable people who are living in overcrowded houses, doing jobs that they are often overqualified for. On top of that, looking at the other stresses, immigration, and the endless pressures that they face, pressure from people back home who in some occasions have unrealistic expectations. These factors are affecting migrant mental health. We also know that the issue of housing, again, it has gotten so bad in some areas. Like, example, Liverpool, Manchester. The house that a migrant and their family would have rented 5 years ago for 600, 700. The same house today is going for £1,200 to £1,400 to rent, and their wages have not gone up by more than £2, but yet the house rent has gone up by a significant amount. We also know that migrant public safety is another reason why a lot of migrants are fearful. If you look at places like London, if you have your mobile phone, you have to hide mobile phone in a civilized country. You're hiding. You get attacked in some places. People have been attacked. They have suffered life-threatening injury because why? The only crime they committed is that they were using their mobile phone in the streets of the United Kingdom. That's how bad people feel unsafe. That's why one of the reasons why migrants are now saying, you know what, it's time to say adios. Let us look at other factors. The United Kingdom has one of the work-life balance in the world. We know that in some places, as soon as the husband comes back, the wife goes out. They hardly see each other. The man goes away for 3 days and the woman comes in. They hardly spend time to each other. They hardly spend time for the children because they are so under pressure to make ends meet and pay the bill that they hardly spend time to each other. The UK is on record as having one of the worst work-life balance in the UK, in the world, and that is another factor that is contributing to why a lot of immigrants are now saying, you know what, we've had enough, we need to move out of the UK because things are so expensive. Another big reason why a lot of immigrants are moving out of the UK is the immigration changes, the endless changes to immigration policy. In the last 5 years, you have carers, students, they were stopped from bringing their dependent to the UK. Salary threshold has increased. Immigrants, the carers will now have to stay 15 years in the UK for them to get settled status. These are people, when they came to the UK around 2021, they were told that after 5 years of living and working in the UK, they will be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain. And now, it will now take them 15 years. God knows another government might come in before them and say, oh, it will take you 25 years. So the endless changes. On top of that, migrants pay a lot of money for NHS surcharge and the cost of renewing their visa. For a family of 5, it will cost them around 15,000 British pounds to renew their visa. How many British citizens have 15,000 pounds saved in their bank account? These are workers, people who are on minimum wage jobs, earning around 12, 13 pounds an hour, and you have to raise 15,000 pounds for a family of 5 to renew their visa. They pay national insurance, they pay taxes, but when they want to renew their visas, they have to also pay NHS surcharge for using the NHS. Some of them do not even use the NHS, but they still have to pay regardless of that. So these factors is driving a lot of migrants to say, you know what, we've had enough. We're not staying. They've called the years for post-studies. They've called the years that migrants have to stay to get post-studies. Everything has changed so significantly that it's having a significant impact on the mental health of a lot of migrants. They are struggling. They feel unwelcome. They feel unwanted. It's tearing family apart. Divorce rate is very high among migrant community. This is having significant impact on people's well-being. Now, if the rate that migrants are moving out of the UK, if it continues like that, what is the impact on the UK's economy? Let's have a look. Number one, smaller workforce means there'll be smaller economic growth. That means there'll be less revenue coming in from the people coming into the treasury due to having less people working. We also know that will put pressure on the wages in the UK because employers will have to bring agency workers or look for workers somehow to do the job. And that means that the price of goods and services will go up due to more money going into producing goods and services. That may have an impact on inflation. Lower economic output is not good for the UK. And also we know that currently the UK has more people who are 16 years old than 65 years old. Let me explain that. What that means is that more people are taken out of the system than people put in. It's common sense. If more people are taken out than people put it in, that is not sustainable. Hey, a lot of politicians, they don't want to tell you the truth because they know if they tell you the truth, you vote them out. So they tell you what you want to hear. So we know that migrants drive skill and innovation, especially in the tech, engineering, and other critical sectors. And when the UK lose those talents, it's going to have an impact on the UK's economy and innovation. We also know that will be a strain on public services. In order for the UK government to be able to fund public services, they need to be able to raise money through taxation and other means. Recently, an advisor to the Prime Minister warned that if the current fall in migration continues, it will affect shortage in some critical sectors and it will have a knock-on effect on the UK's economy. Now, we know that currently the UK's government is currently spending between around 313 billion on welfare. 313 billion on welfare. That is in 2024 to 2025. Between 2025 to 2026, the government is planning to spend between 324 to 327 billion on welfare. We also know that currently around 24 million people are receiving some form of benefit in the UK. We also know that the UK PSC is paying around 105 billion to 111 billion servicing the interest on its debt. That is how much the government is paying to service the interest on the debt. We also know that the UK GDP debt is between 95% to 101% of the total economy is going for debt. That's the size of the debt. We also know that currently the unemployment rate in the UK is 5.1, and a lot of experts are concerned that this is likely to go up in the coming years. Currently, the inflation rate in the UK is 3.2%. Remember, the Bank of England target is 2%, so which means that it's above the Bank of England target. Now that you've heard all this now, are you somebody who is not thinking of moving out of the UK? Do you still think that the UK is attractive for migrants? Let me know what your views are in the comment section. Don't forget to give this a like, share, and subscribe. I expect some nasty comments from those racists who are living on benefits. They are fit to work. They claim to love their country, but they only know how to collect benefit and they are not contributing anything to the country, but they are blaming immigrants. Put your comment in the comment section. I'll see you soon.